We've been taught, trapped, and conditioned into a way of thinking where the way that we get a sense of feeling worthy and being good enough is through getting attention by other people and them giving us good feedback, saying that we are indeed good enough and validating us and saying that we are good people, or that we look good, or that we are nice to them, or that they like us, or whatever it might be. And of course, it's going to be very hard for you to feel good enough in any case if the way that you want to feel good enough is through getting approval from the outside. Because the way that this works is like a bucket. And I just want you to imagine a normal bucket where if you fill it up with water, you have a bucket full of water, right? But this bucket is a little bit special. This bucket has a hole in the bottom. This bucket constantly leaks and is losing energy, and the water, no matter how much you fill in, always keeps seeping out. And this is the way that most people's self-worth works. The way that they actually feel good about themselves is they go to other people, they go on social media, they join a group or whatever it is, and those people then validate that person. They feel good for a while, and then, their self-worth goes up. This is not a true sense of self-worth. However, it does fill the tank, and it's not the best petrol or fuel to be running on. However, it does work, and it does fulfill the need of feeling worthy for a while. And then it starts seeping and leaking out, and the bucket starts getting lower and lower, and before you know it, it's all empty, right? And then they're crashing, they're at zero. That's if they don't have people constantly approving of them and telling them that they're good enough. If you can identify with this, I think we all can, at least at some point in our life. We're constantly looking for somebody to tell us that we're good enough. And it's the fundamental way of thinking that is flawed. It's not that there's something wrong with you or that your self-worth, you're just a bad person, you don't know how to feel good about yourself, you need other people to make you feel good all the time. Just look at the world you're living in. I mean, social media has made it so that that little red notification, that tells you that, oh, hey, you're popular. Hey, there's stuff going on in your life. And if there's nothing there, you feel kind of a form of emptiness. That bucket is getting empty and there's nothing to fill it back in. It's a way that society conditions us to be factory workers and do stuff that we're supposed to do, and constantly have this as a cycle and a repetitive loop that we put ourselves in. So of course, your parents probably lived like this, maybe in a different way, but they did. Probably everybody around you has a similar form of getting value. And then you meet those people that just feel good all the time. Even if something goes wrong, they're smiling, they're optimistic, and you might say, well, that person, they're just a special breed. That person, they just feel good about themselves. They're just a confident person. But indeed, you've probably seen people go from needing to get other people's approval to feeling fulfilled by themselves. And often this takes place and form in a way of personal transformation. Maybe you start losing weight. Maybe you start working on reading the books, building the skill, getting the confidence, and you start getting a real form of self-worth. See, the thing is that when you go to that place, you start to build up your own sense of fulfillment, your own sense of self-worth, as you are actually improving as a human being, and you no longer are attached and dependent and addicted to other people telling you that you are good enough, or that you are worthy, or that you can be a good person because they said so. Now all of a sudden you can read, you can work hard, you can self-motivate, and it's powerful, and you feel a new sense of fulfillment and joy in your life. If you've taken that step, I congratulate you. It's a massive leap to really make that. However, there's another step to be made. And if you're here and you identify with this, it's a very strong place to be, but it is not where you should stop your journey of, improving your self-worth. So when you're in this position, there's actually still a little tiny hole in your bucket. And that little hole is that you're constantly trying to do something to feel good enough. Yes, this is way better fuel. Yes, it works way better. Yes, you're gonna feel better about yourself. However, the one problem is that you're coming from a place of, in order for me to be good enough, I need to do all this stuff. If I do this reading, if I do this self-development, if I watch all these videos, if I do all this stuff, I am good enough. And it's coming still from a place of desperation. And what you really want to do is you want to switch to inspiration. The way that you do that and get rid of that leak, that hole in the bottom of the bucket, although it might be tiny, it still needs to go, is you go to a place where you say, you know what? I was already good enough as I was. Even as I was born, I'm a beautiful being, I'm a creature of nature, and everything is perfect. However, I am inspired to go out there and improve myself and make myself even better and pursue my passions and my dreams. And this is a whole nother level of being. This is transcending completely far away from that bottom end of the pit where you need other people to tell you that you're good. But it's also far apart from the place where you need to do all this stuff to feel good about yourself. And this is a common mistake in self-development, is to say that I'm going to work really hard and that's going to make me really good, and then that means that I'm finally good enough. I want you to get rid of it. It's an outdated way of thinking, and it's not going to serve you if you want to go to the next level. If you want to go to the next level, you're going to have to say and come to terms with that you're a good person. You have to be able to sit in a room quietly for an hour and not feel like the world is going to end or that you feel horrible about yourself. In fact, the best way to test this is to actually sit down in a room for 10 minutes, just put on the timer, put it away, don't look at it, don't have any notifications on, nothing, just a 10-minute timer. Sit quietly for 10 minutes and just see how you feel about yourself. And if you come to a place where you're happy, full of joy, full of passion, or you're even just sitting there, you're at peace, fantastic, you've passed the test. However, if you can't sit the 10 minutes quietly, not doing anything, literally just stuck to your chair for 10 minutes, then there's a sign saying, hey, you're not feeling too good about yourself. You still haven't made that transition. And the way to make the transition is to slowly but surely begin to wrap your head around the idea of that you are a worthy person. You don't need to go out there and do something to be worthy. Now, I'm not saying you're entitled and that you should just get stuff because you didn't work, and not that debate. That's a whole different story. I'm saying that in order for you to stop leaking self-worth and feeling like you're not enough, you're going to have to make a transition where you say to yourself that even without all of this, if I was to just live in a cave, I would still be a good person. I don't need this stuff to make me into a good person. The phone, the computer. See, oftentimes we trick ourselves into thinking that buying all this stuff, doing all these things, going all these places, that's what makes us into a good person. And the moment that you can let go of that, all of those experiences are 100 million times better. They're more fun, they're more enjoyable, there's more juice in life, and you're gonna be a lot happier. And that's the whole point. That's what I want for you. So I want you to make that transition. I want you to, first of all, go from looking for other people to validate you to doing your own work and feeling a sense of self-worth from this, and then stepping up to a place where you feel good regardless. And then other people's validation, doing the self-work, it's all a bonus, it's all a cherry on top of the cake.